Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we will be continuing our Jenkins lecture series, and in today's video we will be looking all the options which you have in a job. So let's get started. So the first thing which we have is the status right here, and this is the current page which is already opened. It will just display the name of the project, then the description of the project, and param links will be generated once we build the project. We will be seeing those soon. Then again option to edit the description, then to enable and disable the project. Then we have the changes options. So as of now there is no build, so it won't able to detect that what has changed in the first execution and in the second execution. Once we start or we build this project, it will start listing all the changes in this section. Then we have workspace. Again things will be reflected here once we build the project. We will be covering this when we will be building this project. Then we have the build now option that will basically start the execution. Then we have the configuration option, which basically show the configuration of the specific project or of the specific job. So let us check out what are the configurations which we have. Initially we have description. On the top we have option to enable and disable the job. Then we have the discard build options. So these basically are the general properties of this job, and the strategy which you have selected is log rotation, which basically means that these are the number of days up to which you need to keep the artifacts of the specific project, or let's say keep artifact only of last 5 execution. Those kind of things will be described in the log rotation section. Then we have GitHub project. If the code of the specific project is hosted somewhere on GitHub repository, then you can provide that URL here. It will get displayed on the job page. Then we have the parameters option. We can add a bunch of parameters, and based on which the flow of the execution will be managed. So we will be covering all these in a separate video because there we have like multiple types of parameters here. Then we have throttle build, then we have execute, concurrent build. So each of these options which you are seeing right here has their own specific role and are utilized to maintain or to control the flow of the pipeline execution. Then we have the source code management section in the configuration, which basically used when we have some repository hosted on some source code management server, and it will fetch info from there. Let us say you have a rep which is hosted on some source code management server. You can specify that repository URL. If the repo is private or internal, you can specify the credential and those kind of things in this section. We will be covering each of these. You do not need to rush everything right now. Then we have build trigger option. So trigger is literally the most important mechanism which I think. Why we want Jenkins to be integrated with our projects? Because we want that whenever there is a minor change, we want some tests or some steps to be done. So triggers basically help in executing the scripts automatically instead of manually clicking on build now option. And these are a few options which you have to build the specific project. Let's go with the first one, executing the build remotely. So let's say you are on your mobile and you do not have access of your system, so you can trigger job with whatever the authentication token you will be providing here from some another machine or from some another device. Then we have build after other project options. So let's say you have some sort of dependencies between the multiple projects, so these options can be utilized in that scenario, that build this project when the another one is completed, or if another one is success or fail, or those kind of things. Then we have periodically option. We can specify the cron job syntax here. We can maintain a schedule that okay, trigger this project weekly, trigger it nightly, or those kind of things. Then we can add the GitHub or GitLab hooks as well. Whenever there is change get merged into the repository, then that hook will trigger this project and those kind of things. Then we have poll SCM. In poll SCM we basically specify that whenever a change come in the repository, which will be mentioned in the source code management section, whenever a change happens in that repository, trigger this project. Those trigger will be defined in the poll SCM section. Then we have build environment section. So before executing our main test, we need to do some sort of steps. Let's say if you are maintaining a Python project, then let's say you need to create a virtual environment. If you are running your GUI test, then let's say you need to start the virtual display, you need to add timestamp, you need to clean the environment before starting the test. So those kind of things will be performed in the build environment section. Then in the build step, the actual part comes, which will be of let me remove this one. We will be doing it from fresh. So the actual step or the command will be written in this build step section. And if you click on here, these are a bunch of options which my Jenkins server has based on the plugins I have installed. So let's say I want to run a batch command, so I can just pass the script or the command right here. In my case, as of now, I am using a Linux operating system, so I will be executing shell instead of batch. Then let's say you want to invoke the ant, then whatever the kind of steps you want to perform, you can select it from here. Let's say I want to do ls will basically list all the files exist in the present directory, and pwd command will basically show you the present working directory, like from where these command will be executed, directory from where these command will be executed. So then we have the post build actions. So in post build actions, we have a bunch of options. Let's say archiving all the artifact, basically it will basically create a zip of all the log files or everything. Then if you want to build some another project, once this get completed, if you want to send an email notification, you can install as much plugins you want and add as much options here, like Slack notification, Google chat notification, and generating the JUnit report and those kind of things. You can even make your custom using the shared library, which I will be demonstrating soon. So as of now, I have added this one option only, which we will delete the workspace once the build is completed. And yeah, let me save the changes. So this is all about the configuration section. Then we have the delete project option. This will basically delete this job. Renaming means renaming the project. Let me rename it to my freestyle. And done. So yeah, that's all the options a Jenkins job has. Now things which are remaining is generating the param links and the build history, which I will be covering in the next video, because in the next video I will be covering all the execution part, how the builds will get, how the execution will look here, and all those kind of things. So see you in the next. So do like, share and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the next. Thanks for watching.